On Tuesday's show, we told you about Rooms That Rock for Chemo, a San Francisco-based nonprofit that gives cancer treatment rooms a makeover. The renovations provide a more comfortable and positive place for patients, and the woman who designed this healing idea, Nancy Ballard, is here now to share more. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
And congrats on last weekend's project down in Mountain View. And this time I read that you actually got to stay and see the patient's reaction. So what was that like?
It's very rare because we get our work done on a weekend. They have to open up the facility again on a Monday,
right.
And then we never usually get to go back. So to see the doctor that's in charge there, and he had one of his patients there, was a real treat. It was just overwhelming to see what a difference it makes just for them to even to visit that room.
Made it all worth it, I bet.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, El Camino Hospital was just the most recent project, but how many different hospitals and how many patients have you impacted through this work?
That was our 11th project.
Okay.
We started in May 2011, and we impact over 713,000 patient visits a year.
Wow.
So it's done very well. We go wherever anyone wants us.
Right, it's not just local. So where else have you been?
We've been to San Salvador twice.
Wow.
I'm going to China in October.
Oh my goodness.
We've been to Philadelphia, Bay Area, Marin County, and West Virginia.
Now we should mention you are a botanical illustrator by day.
Yes.
And this all started when you donated some of your work to a medical center in San Francisco. So how did it take off from just that small gesture?
I was asked to donate some art, and I went and looked at the chemotherapy room, and I started crying. It was just so drab and sad, and I thought one piece of art isn't going to make a difference. I mean, it just needs so much more. So I went home and looked on a website and emailed 20 designers that I'd never met and said, you don't know me, but will you please help? I need your expertise, your donation of funding, of everything to do a room. Will you please do it?
And you had an overwhelming response.
I had 4 people respond that weekend and tell me, thank you for the opportunity.
Wow.
I've sat there with my mother, my brother, my uncle, and I've always wanted to do something like this, and it would be my pleasure.
So they were directly impacted by chemo in some way and wanted to help.
Correct.
And what is the process like for them once they've joined on?
It's almost like a movie production because so much has to be done in advance and in the background. It usually takes 4 to 6 months before a project is ready to be actually installed.
Okay.
So the designers, once they volunteer, because they're everyone's volunteer, they provide a storyboard, and the storyboard has to cover the rules and regulations of the different facilities. They're all different. I go over them and then I present them to the hospital, and the hospital is usually overwhelmed with joy.
Well, the results are amazing. I mean, the before and after pictures that I saw are incredible. I particularly love the solar system room, I think in Oakland. But do you have one that stands out to you that you particularly love?
That's for children. We did Children's Hospital in Oakland, which was probably the most touching because they had cribs and chairs in the rooms. And we went in and made it just like a fairyland for the children. And that's one of my favorite rooms too, the one that has the rocket ship in it.
And you talk a lot about this connection between creating an upbeat space and really, truly helping people heal. Tell us about that.
Well, what we do is we do provide a completely new environment because we believe and know from studies that environment does impact healing. So we create a hopeful, peaceful room that will impact the healing and also make a tremendous difference to those that help with the care, the doctors, the nurses, the families, and the patient themselves. So it's a win-win.
And there's not just opportunities for designers, there's opportunities for other people that want to help. And there's a lot of ways, a lot of creative ways.
All of the above. You think of something and we can probably use it. For example, in this last project we just we had a sponsor, Bonnie J. Adario, and I had done a room for her at Sequoia Hospital. She's a lung cancer survivor. And as a result, she wanted to sponsor a room for El Camino because that's where her doctor was.
Okay.
So anything from that to when we're at Children's Hospital, they provided meals for us because sometimes we're there till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. We have to get this done in a quick weekend. So there's always something to be done.
Donating funds, spreading the word, and this one opportunity, you could sponsor a candy dish in one of the rooms. I love that.
That's an exciting. That was in West Virginia, and they decided that they wanted candy dishes in each room. They had maybe 22 rooms, and they have volunteers come in. They go on Facebook when they're low on candy, and people come in and have candy in each room, not just at the nurse's station, but in each room.
I think that's great.
I love it.
Thank you so much for being here, Nancy.
My pleasure.
You can learn more about volunteer opportunities like that and make a tax-deductible donation right on the website. Just go to roomsthatrockforchemo.us.